I've been using my HX Stomp exclusively for my live bass rig for the last few years. It's got the amps that I need, it's got the cab sims that I need, it's got all the effects that I need, it's got the outputs that I require, but it's missing something to make it that perfect rig. It's great, but it's not quite perfect. I'm Twisty. In this video, I'm going to call out the shortcomings that stops the HX Stomp from becoming that perfect bass rig and some options around doing it with a budget of $60 US or less. Let's check it out. Released in 2018 by Line 6, the HX Stomp, the smaller version of its bigger brothers, the Helix LT or the Helix Floor or the Helix Rack, quickly became popular, especially in live rigs for bassists and guitarists. Designed to be integrated into a floorboard, the HX Stomp can operate as a standalone amp, cab, effects device, the way I use it for my live rig, or it can integrate with other pedals on that floorboard. You can add it to your favorite chorus pedal, you can put your favorite compressor with it, or again, you can use it as a single device, making it a great modular live use kit. With only one DSP or processing power, compared to its bigger brothers which have two processors in them, the HX Stomp is limited to 3 snapshots and only has 3 foot pedals, but it does provide all of the same features as the bigger brothers around same number of amps, cabs, effects, etc. Because it only has the 3 foot switches, this is where it goes from really great but not quite perfect. With its second release of the HX Stomp, the HX Stomp XL, Line 6 addressed this limitation by adding 5 foot switches, dedicated up and down, a dedicated mode switch, and also access to a 4th snapshot. But the form factor is now much bigger, which makes it not as compact as the original HX Stomp. The EXP12 out on the HX Stomp allows you to expand the footprint of the number of pedal or number of foot switches on the HX Stomp from 3 to 5, making it perfect for what I want to use it for. But can I get that for $60 US or less? Now, assuming, like me, you don't need an expression pedal and additional foot switches, this aux2 foot switch from Loopi provides the extra 2 switches that you need connected through to the expression pedal 1 and 2 out. This gives me 5 foot switches instead of the 3. To connect it, you're going to need a TRS stereo to stereo 1/4 inch jacks. One goes into the Loopi pedal and the other goes into the expression pedal on the back of your HX Stomp. The Loopi pedal, I'll put a link below. It comes in at around about 34 Australian dollars as the time of this recording. I'll do the conversions to American at the end, but 34 Australian dollars. And the cable, depending on the length you're looking for, goes between $8 to $20, again, depending on the length you're looking for. I have my HX Stomp sitting on top of my amp, more like a rack unit. And therefore, when I use this foot pedal, it's usually so that I can get access to an effect or an overdrive or a channel switch from the front of the stage, so I have a slightly longer cable for my use. Assuming my American maths is correct, the conversion to buy this pedal and a cable is around about $46 US. So well within my $60 budget that I've set for myself. Now, obviously, there are other brands other than Loopi. If you do a search on Amazon, etc., there'll be a similar thing. This one was labeled that it was made specifically for HX Stomp, hence I bought it at the time. However, it is really just a TRS stereo connector to 2 switches. If you want to use an expression pedal, you can also have a single switch and an expression pedal. I don't use the expression pedal, hence I have the 2 switches. Now, sticking with the compact theme, I mean, this is my live rig. I use the Attitude bass, which is why I've got the 2 wireless controllers. However, because I want to keep this on here, that other Loopi pedal's great if I want to come out and send out onto the stage. But if I want to keep everything compact, Pedalnetics, link below, make a 2-button switch. Again, it connects straight into the expression 1 and 2 on a short hard wired lead. So you don't buy a second cable, it's all connected. I first saw this on an Instagram post by Ian Martin Allison, who I then DM'd and he said, here, go to Pedalnetics. And these guys have been fantastic. This is the plastic version, the first round that came out. Well, actually, it's the second. The first one had a separate cable. This one is already hardwired. So I literally stick it to the front with the double-sided sticky tape that comes with the unit and plug it in the back, and then it works. Then you go through and just configure it to be foot switches 4 and 5 through global settings. It's called the Geo Mini. They now make a metal cased version. You can get, by default, it comes with 4 and 5 labeled on it. And Martin Allison has IMA on his. You might see that in his videos. You can get whatever you want put in. It's currently retailing for $59 US on their site. However, at the time of this video, it was on special for $49 US. If you want custom labeling on the front, your name, your dog's name, the name of your bass, I wouldn't put the drummer's name on, they don't last. Then it's an extra $5. So that would bring it up to about $54 US for that at the time of this writing. The metal version was an extra $10. Again, that wasn't available when I bought this. But it's the same function. It's just a metal casing, allegedly more robust, but this is pretty good. By default, the two options of labeling you've got is 4 and 5 or an up and a down arrow. So choosing, if you decide you just want to use it for your up and down presets, you can put the arrows on it. I decided I wanted to have it as 4 and 5 because then I can use it for whatever I want to and not confuse myself. As I said, they've now released the Geo Mini Pro, which is the metal version. And as of this recording, they also offer the same form factor, but instead of connecting it to the expression pedal, they've actually got it as a MIDI controller. So for those of you who want the small compact form factor that this offers you, but also want to use an expression pedal, you can use the MIDI controlled version, which connects into the MIDI here rather than the expression out, and then you can use an expression pedal on your expression pedal out. More than $60 though, so it does break my budget. This though, perfect for within $60, adds that extra too. I personally use the 2 foot switches with the command center. So depending on the preset that I've got configured, they usually swap between snapshots or jump me to another preset. So that's how I use it live. I only have 2 presets I really use live. They're the same. One's for my Attitude bass and the other one's for my homemade bass, which has got a 5 dB less power than the Attitude. So I have the same patch, but I jump it to that with a 5 dB uplift. The link to Pedalnetics is below. I'm not affiliated with them. So again, please call out if you get it from me and say maybe they will make me an affiliate. But if you want to see how I use the expression pedals with my live gig, check the video out that's above here on how I use it to dive bomb. So you can check that video out. So in my mind, the extra 2 foot switches just makes that HX Stomp that much more usable for me. Could I really use additional snapshots? Probably. Do I get away with not having them? Absolutely. Again, this is for my live rig. In my studio stuff, I use my Helix LT, which has got more processing power. It allows me to run clean left and right out, so I get different amp sims for both pickups on my Attitude bass. A lot more power, a lot more usage. But for live, I'm pretty well using 1 patch, 1 bass, and the extra foot switches allows me to keep the tuner running so I can use that, which I really use a lot. Some people prefer to offload that to a dedicated tuner, but I like to keep that on my HX with the flashing red light. I really like that. Bit sad, I know. And then those extra 2 foot switches just give me that extra to be able to jump into another patch or add a detune or add an effect that I really want just for that live piece. So for me, that's the way to go. For $60 US, it's pretty good. The Pedalnetics compact sits on top of the board, really usable. Again, depending on the special they're running at the moment, you could get that for less than $60 US with your name on it. How cool is that? The metal one, again, a little bit more expensive, but there you go. And then, you know, these Loopi pedals, fantastic. 30 Australian dollars, so what's that? $3.50 US or something like that. Again, works perfectly. I can throw that in a bag. It's pretty solidly built. I mean, it's just doing on off, right? There's nothing to it. Built like a tank. There are competitors to the market, but I really like these Loopi ones. Again, 34 Australian dollars plus a cable, so around about 46 or call it 50 US dollars. Perfect. You can also go and expand, as I said, with a MIDI controller. Now, the Pedalnetics make the 2-button MIDI controller. There are other MIDI controllers which are effectively this form factor with 3 buttons, but they're around the 200 or 150 plus US dollar mark. So they broke my budget of the 60 US dollar target I was going for, but they will give you a little bit more control. They allow you to do more. If you want to see how I use my iPad as a MIDI controller, check out this video.